Salve, this is Jeff.
This is David.
Sisters and
Hi, David. Let's play Monster Hunter.
Yay!
This is Monster Hunter World. We're going to be playing through the entire game. Here's the intro.
Yes.
There's no turning back.
The story is not why you play Monster
Which is why I'm going to talk over it.
Right. Let's just establish that now.
There are some pretty entertaining cutscenes, which are just basically just choreographed action scenes.
Right.
Introducing monsters.
Sail safe and strong. And may the
I'll be skipping a lot of the dialogue for characters. I'll have it on screen, for like a reasonable amount of time, but fairly quick, because a lot of the dialogue is very light, lots of jokes and puns and the bare minimum to get the plot going. I like the plot, but the plot is also pretty simple. But we're here to fight monsters primarily.
We are here to hunt big things. That is why we are here. So how much of this video is you just making your character, Jeff?
I using the magic of editing. It's only like 2 minutes. Character.
But in real time,
David.
it was an hour. Real time, hour and a half.
I think it was probably about 20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So you also get to make your cat.
Yes, you do.
So a little bit of both.
I just make mine look like one of my kitties.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I wanted a more mean-looking kitty.
What?
Did you hear?
What?
We're almost there.
Or a kitty that
You ready to grab
seen
this
some
new world
stuff.
by the horns?
Right. Also, this I think is my favorite
Don't know
NPC,
about
the
you.
Super Bro.
Feels like ages since I left
yes,
home
when you,
on a mission.
on Steam, particularly PC version, but also on PS4, there's
Believe you me, I
you can get a free hairstyle and
Anything
dances
can happen
and
to
stuff.
us, but hey,
Right.
And one of the free hairstyles is his little
One of the A-list
center,
hunters?
What?
down the middle
No way.
mini
No way.
mohawk spike puff.
Yeah, it's a faux hawk combined with like a crew cut or a shaved head. So, hi, just real quick manipulation.
We're gonna do some quick character creation.
Okay.
Writing 2 characters for the duration of the show, so to speak. So I got my dude, it's Kaylin, as always.
This is a lady, though.
This is a lady. We'll be seeing. This is the character I'll be using to kind of go along with the the series as we're recording and doing videos. This is Batriel, as always,
As is custom.
as is customary.
You're going with the leather armor set?
Which will be replaced almost immediately. But this is just what do you want to look like in the basically opening mission,
Cutscene,
which we'll be
right.
doing. Yeah, we'll be introduced to Zor Magdaros, the elder dragon that is a living volcano.
Right.
Which the plot of the game will basically be chasing down and figuring out what's going on with the living volcano dragon. It's not technically it's
kitty.
technically a dragon, but in the parlance of Monster Hunter, Elder Dragon is something that we don't understand why it exists in the ecology.
Because
So we just
everything
call it-
else makes perfect sense.
So, big, huge in-game monsters, we just call them Elder Dragons. Some of them are, more traditional-looking dragons, but...
Right. So you've made an angry kitty.
Mm-hmm.
He's still adorable.
He's just, he just seems like... He's very serious,
Did the kitty you make for Kaylin just look like a big old doof? Is that...
It wasn't a big old doof. I don't remember. It was definitely the softer eyes.
What did you name your kitty?
Of course, as on point is
Yep.
as Leon.
Yep.
Or because it has lion right in there.
Right. Yes.
Featured prominently. If anyone is wondering, as Leon is the flying castle that Batriel lived in 1,000 years ago in my book, available in the description.
And the commission.
It's a good book. I recommend it. And I'm not
I
just saying
also
that because I'm your friend.
I will edit out the sound of the money bag hitting the floor.
Well, mostly because it's empty, but whatever.
Well, there's good canvas sort of texture to it.
It is. It's a nice money bag. It's just empty.
Of course,
After
of
running
course.
the research commission for 40-odd years, the guild's itching for
Man,
are,
that lip sync is so bad.
Yeah, the lip sync. If you're
forgot
wondering
about
if the lip sync is better in Japanese or German or whatever, the answer is no.
It's just
It's
bad.
not. It is universally awful.
But it's just one of those Monster Hunter things, you know?
Yeah,
And that's your handler, the lover of food.
a Monster Hunter thing until this one. I don't think they really had. Did they have voice acting?
I
sure.
don't remember.
Listen to that.
They may have had like Legend
I'd say
of Zelda
probably not.
sounds. So
Just because like the last few were on 3DS, and it seems like that'd be a lot.
Right.
A lot of extra stuff to put in the. This is the
You're on the A
handler.
list, right?
yes,
She will be with us the entire game.
until she betrays
I'm
us.
not psychic, but I do
But when
have
will that be?
pretty good
Who
ears.
knows?
Ah, put it.
Comment below.
I happen to be an A-lister myself. Whoa, whoa.
The handler's deal is basically she just loves food.
Yeah,
She's also overly impulsive and overly emotional, which
right.
is not. I don't know.
She's an anime protagonist. It's fine.
Sure, but even in that realm, because this is a game full of anime protagonists
Accurate.
with the
Yeah.
the size of weapons and the hairstyles and the plucky.
The pluckiness.
What's the word? The word will come back to me in a second.
Right. Also, saddest moment of the game coming up.
Kitty.
Kitty, no, kitty! This is when I regretted making the kitty look like my cat.
Warning: the kitty will be fine.
Kitty will be fine. I didn't know that at the moment.
I'm sorry for your virtual cat trauma.
Yeah. But he was fine.
This is also the kind of game where the main character doesn't talk, and it's awkward, because that's always awkward in a game where everyone else talks.
Talks, right. It works in text, but it does
Yes,
not
it
work
works in
in
text.
voice acted.
And it's not even, and in some games where there's no voice acting for the main character, there's voice acting for all the other characters, like, I don't know, Breath of the Wild or something.
Right.
You still, it's not that Link is mute.
It's that you just can't hear what
because-
he says.
Yeah, you just can't hear what he says, because, you'll talk to someone, and then obviously, he has said something or explained something. But the handler in this case will be the mouthpiece.
Right. Also,
So
this
like
area
a-
is so pretty.
Yeah, this is actually on the back of Zora Magdaros,
Yes.
the living volcano mentioned earlier, which we will be searching for the entire game. long.
Right. Surprisingly hard to find sometimes. Something
Yeah, sometimes
this big.
it's hard to find, despite being a giant fire lava mountain.
Yeah. But still, it's such a... God.
It's got a pretty sick beard, though.
He does have a pretty sick beard.
We need to get out of here. I've got an idea. This way.
Oh,
Watch yourself.
I feel like that wanted you to look at something, but you were blocked by the mountain.
Maybe. That's okay.
Yeah.
We'll be back in this area eventually.
Right.
It's just the this is just the intro.
Right.
Don't even have items or a weapon yet.
Right. This is all about how do you walk, how do you climb.
Walking and climbing. There is I guess a quick lore update.
My first encounter with
This is
No.
it's called Monster Hunter World because it takes place in the New World continent. Also explains the episode title.
Right.
So there's only been a few different fleets sent across to, which is also it effectively is like we are making a new thing for everyone, who is internationally released.
Right. Yeah.
Wildly successful.
Weird.
Seems like people are really into Monster Hunter if you give them a version that they can actually access.
Yep. They can play it. They can play it easily and play it with other people easily. Weird.
If you remove some of the BS, it's even better.
Weird. Also, sick beard tricks. All right.
Yeah, there we go. There's that sick beard. But yes, we're part of the 5th Fleet, heading over to the New World. There's been, as the name implies, 4 fleets that have come before. So it's still very scrappy, very improvisational.
Right.
Supposed to be kind of like discover a new land.
Also, what they're doing right now would hurt your arms and shoulders so bad. Like, I can't
But
stress.
these are also characters that may or may not have dragon blood in them
What?
because of deep deepest lore.
Wait, I forgot. Wait, what?
Well, in the past, because of the Dragon Wars, when humans were making artificial dragons, and then the spirit of the dragons was killing all humans, and they might have infused humans with dragon blood, which maybe is where the Wyverians. There's not a lot of lore in Monster Hunter, but there's a little bit.
You just what? All right, you need to start over because that was some Final Fantasy Apocalypse World crap you just threw at me.
That's like Kingdom Hearts sequel level of.
Kingdom Hearts sequel doesn't make any sense anyway.
Like I said, there's not a whole lot of Monster Hunter lore,
Right.
but yes, that was a thing. Like
Okay.
the first hunters in the way back times,
They had
fighting
dragon
the
blood.
Dragon Wars. Against artificially basically Golem elder dragons that they made disrupting the ecosystem. There's very much a kind of Final Fantasy VII style weapons,
Right.
where the original elder dragons, the response of the planet against all of this stuff that was going on. But the Wyverians and even the hunters probably in the modern times, so to speak, of the game, probably have dragon blood. The Wyverians are a bunch of weird, sort of races and subspecies. They're the ones that kind of look like elves.
Also,
in this game, they got long ears and they've only got 3 fingers. And
come on, let's
they
get
got their
going.
I didn't
weird-
notice that.
They have their weird dragon toes as well.
Didn't notice that either. Okay.
All right then.
Well, also, welcome to the first hunting grounds of the game.
Yes, the hunting grounds.
Ancient
The
Forest.
Ancient Forest. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
It's so nice. I had to do a lot of tweaking to get the frames just right. There's the game runs pretty smoothly on PC.
And they'll lead you right to
Right.
There are a few caveats with the volumetric lighting being a resource hog for some reason, and some of the NVIDIA drivers not being performant, I guess. But I mean, the NVIDIA driver thing is not really the game's fault. But there's still improvements that can be made.
Right. I'm sure they will get made, considering how successful this game has been.
Sure.
All right. The first thing that you don't actually get to kill.
We don't actually get to fight these.
They do teach you the often used, sure, in air quotes, hiding skill.
Yes. It's actually a new mechanic in Monster Hunter World.
Easy there.
Is stealth.
Don't pick a fight if you don't have a weapon.
Basically, you get everything becomes muffled, and you get a little vignette around the screen, and you can't be seen. There it is.
There it is. And then the little mini map goes purple. And
Yeah, you can do that by hiding in these specific types of plants here. You can see some in the background there as well. But you can also
Right.
do it for using smoke nuts and
spore puffs.
spore puffs. Yeah, where you run by them, and you just kind of stab them with your knife, and they'll create a cloud. I think that I don't know the specifics on this, but I'm pretty sure that the spore puffs are basically instant 100%. Walked out of the range of vision of a guard in Metal Gear.
Oh,
Kind of.
What was that
Don't know
noise?
where you are. Which is good because sometimes you need a little bit of distance. Actually, a good strategy to use hiding effectively is to. We don't actually have a weapon yet, but when you're sharpening a weapon, if you're using a melee weapon with a whetstone, you'll crouch down to do it. So if you just use the whetstone while standing over that sort of low cover, you'll automatically go into the hiding state while you keep sharpening your weapon.
Oh, I didn't know that. Huh.
I found that particularly useful for, playing through the game again, doing some hunts with more aggressive monsters that are very high damage. So
Right.
online, it's not as much of an issue, especially since you have a bunch of hunters. You can
Right.
split the aggro.
If you have your kitty doing some
That's true.
aggro management as well.
And I did have my kitty with me, so he was doing work. No complaints about the kitty, but sometimes the monster's just I'm going to do another thing.
We should say that the kitties are named Palicos, and
That's true.
that's adorable.
A tribe or a race of felines. Just one of the other very like small pieces of lore. I guess, is just like they have their own language. There's other types of like small feline tribes, which are called Grimalkines, I think.
Right.
Or Grimalkins? I don't actually know how you pronounce it.
I think they say Grimalkins, but...
So Grimalkins, we'll see a bunch of those as well. Not in this particular video, but there's a bunch of Grimalkin tribes that are scattered throughout the New World, and you can actually have your cat basically be an ambassador. Hey, there's an Anjanath.
Hey, Anjanath.
It's basically a T-Rex.
It's a T-Rex with some fur on it and some wings and some fire. It's great.
Yep, it's got sails. We'll be back to that guy later.
Right. Not right now, because he's a little challenging at the beginning.
Yeah, for the dramatic dive.
The epic Geordie maneuver of our time.
Exactly. For the first like third of the game, I'd say it's probably the Anjanath, or
You all right?
the Anjanath is the first difficult monster. I would say.
Right.
The one that's like you go in and then he like breathes fire on you and you die.
Right. Yes.
It's like yes, should avoid that fire attack.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to taking him on with the heavy bow gun because
It's your new baby.
I'm trying to love it because there are times I absolutely love it and there are times I hate it so much. So I'm just trying to love it. I did die to a Baroth, which has never happened before. But
That is embarrassing. Do you want me to edit that part out?
No. I have to own my shame.
Okay, you just own it.
Yep. All right,
Stand in your shame truth.
Yep. So those are the ships that the giant lava mountain didn't destroy. Hey.
And the town of Astera is built from the remains of all of the previous ships. So everything is like nets and boards and ship holes. So I really like the design of Astera. It's very neat.
It's a very good design. Despite you can make the argument like there are trees right there they could have used, but use the refined lumber you already have.
Yeah, you might as well.
Come on.
That is the Sirius handler.
Yes. That is her name.
Let's say, yes, because the people in this game do not have names, actually.
Nope.
Everyone has a title. There's like the enthusiastic five-lister, or like or A-lister that's like into fish, or like the captain, or the admiral.
Right. Or the huntsman.
The
chief biologist. Yeah.
Which is a little weird think about it, but
I mean, it is a little weird, but at the same time, it does acknowledge the fact that in the game, names don't matter. That's
true.
Just
no one is ever referring to everyone by name except for you.
Hey, it's Nier. Hi, Nier.
Yep, good old Jameson Price. It didn't take long to hear that voice in this game.
No.
Welcome to Astera.
I heard that. I was just like, oh, hey.
I was like, oh, okay, Nier's here.
Yay.
Very good. If you are not familiar with the work of Jameson Price, he was of course the voice of Nier in the game
Nier.
Also called Nier.
Yep.
He's done a crap ton of other things. He was the Count of Monte Cristo and Gankutsuo. He was also the announcer for Street Fighter 4, the one that says round one fight, etc., etc.
Oh, I didn't know that. He's also one of my favorite voices in this game. So
yes, this particular part here is one of the many, I don't know, like level 3 cutscenes where text only with like grunt or like half line of dialogue that's the tone.
Right, and this is the talk and walk cutscene. So
yep. Fortunately, there's not a lot of these. This is all just kind of front loaded.
Right,
showing you around.
All of the cutscenes are pretty much the first half of the game.
Yeah, we'll be skipping all of the. Well, I'll be skipping like the tutorial text boxes. There's tons and tons of tutorial text boxes, which is nice because that's the thing that hasn't been in Monster Hunter.
Right. If you want to learn
something to tell you how to do a thing.
Right. If you want to learn how to play the game, you have to. Oh, I don't know. Look it up online.
Yes. Which I have done.
Right. Yes.
Which I guess if you're listening to this right now, you, the viewer, are also doing.
Exactly. But
there's a lot less Monster Hunter BS in this one.
Yeah.
Very nice.
There's still some, but there's a
still
lot
some.
less.
There's some which you could explain away as, like sense of discovery. Like, oh, here's a mechanic that didn't know would happen if I did this attack in this way. But some of it is just, here's the basic attacks of, like your weapon.
Right.
Like the hammer charge. Technically, it does say, or the hammer charge storage.
Right.
It does technically say in the upper right corner, if you press circle, because it's contextual, if you have the help, sort of like...
Next up is the canteen.
Also, Smithy, great place.
Smithy is so great.
Everybody here is so happy.
So yeah, it will tell you that you can like charge your hammer or store your hammer charge. But then you're like, what does that do? What does that mean? It just kind of looks like you put your weapon away, but not really, and there's like a sound effect.
Right.
So, well, I'll be using the
hammer at first.
Yeah, I'll be using the hammer. I'll go into the hammer.
Right.
I do like the hammer a lot. I'll be using basically all the weapons because I like all the weapons. Heavy bow gun is actually my least favorite, so maybe we'll see heavy bow gun from David's
My
review.
perspective, yeah. Because you get a giant sniper round, which is really fun, even if it's less effective than all my other attacks. It's fine.
Kitty!
Hey, it's your kitty!
The kitty's lost. He's confused.
He's angry sad.
Yeah.
He's happy angry.
He's sangry.
He's angry. Now he's hangry, but not hungry angry. Aww.
I don't get a kitty hug.
My kitty does that to me when I get home. Aww. He's a dog, essentially, but...
That's fine. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
Some cats are dogs.
Yeah.
I don't think any dogs are cats, though. I think it's a square rectangle situation.
Yeah.
Now that you are all here, let us begin council.
Here's the colorful cast of characters in the background.
Right.
The huntsman is great. It has a great voice. He always sounds like he is yelling at you from the end of a metal hallway because he's full armor and you never even get to see what he looks like.
But I also love that when he is talking, it alternates between "I've got this," "What are you doing?" and "I'm too old for this." Like those are the three states he
You
has.
should all get to know each other.
Looking forward to it.
Now,
So the researcher there, or botanist, is one of the Wyverians. So if you will notice, he only has the three hands and the extra.
Three fingers, you mean?
Oh yes, yes.
Research Commission's job
He
is
has
to
one less
discover
than three
exactly
hands.
why
2
the
hands, in
elder
Two
fact.
dragons
hands.
are
Three
migrating
fingers,
to the New
3 fingers and
World.
thumb kind of situation, and then the ears.
All right. So what is
yes.
that guy?
That's a good question. I thought he was also one of those.
A Wyverian?
Yeah.
He's got one fewer finger. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like super old, I guess.
Yeah. And then next to him is
The Meowscular Chef.
Meowscular Chef.
We'll be seeing his handiwork.
He is.
All about gains.
He's all about gains, and he is
I need you to focus on
after
investigating our
Bro
Japanese
Hunter
bomb
probably my
securing
favorite
Astera.
NPC because everything is a gain and mouth and cat pun.
Find out
Everything.
what makes
I like
it
the guy on the left. I forget his name, but he's just the
Team leader.
team leader. I like team leader.
Make sure these hunters have
He's
everything
plucky.
they need.
He's also one of the few people that is actually born and raised in the New World. It's sort of his little
You'll find
flavor.
good teachers.
So he is the commander's son,
Stick with
Grandson.
me and you'll have no
grandson.
problems.
Oh, is that what it is?
Fifth banner
I think he
promises
says
a change
grandfather a
in
few
the world.
times, so I'm
It's
going to
your
assume
job to fulfill that
I thought he
that's
was-
not just a title,
Okay.
like the grandfather, which would be confusing.
That would be confusing, but hey, it's
Eh.
it's his.
It could just be like, oh, it's just a Monster Hunter thing. The banners in the background are the sigils for all the previous fleets, I do believe.
Right. Yes.
So yeah, there's some good little background stuff. Our first objective here from the council there is just as we ran away from earlier, the Jagras, which are the small little lizard things,
Head inside your room so
are
you can
like,
grab yourself a weapon.
I don't know. There's too many of them. They have to do a culling.
Right.
I do appreciate the Monster Hunter in general's focus on ecology,
Right.
as the story. So like the story is about biology and ecology, and hunting monsters as a function of necessity. I mean, of course, the game is also you repeat hunts over and over again to get better loot and gear, so you can be like, but at least the text of the story is about, conservation and, trying to figure out your place in the ecosystem, and et cetera, et cetera.
The Elder Dragon is really just wreaking havoc on all the ecology. We have to help it be better.
Yeah, and in this case, it's not even that it's wreaking havoc on the ecology. It's that they have no idea how it fits into the ecosystem, so they don't know if it's good or bad because it's just a weird outlier. These extremely huge monster things that they're chasing.
Hey, it's all these weapons.
All these weapons. We're definitely gonna take a hammer for this first one. The Elder Crossing, capital E, capital C, is the event that the Research Commission, which we're part of here, is investigating, which is every 10 years or so, the Elder Dragons migrate across the ocean to the New World. And they're like, why are they doing that? Oh.
We should figure that out.
They've technically been researching it for over 40 years because it's like they send a fleet every decade.
I'll be there waiting with
The understanding. So
You can get more familiar with your weapons
each
for
of
training.
the previous fleets is basically, generally speaking, like a generation older or like 10 years older.
Okay.
And the first fleet people in this game are probably my favorite characters because they're all a bunch of old weirdos.
Pretty much, yeah.
we won't interact. Well, we'll interact with a bunch of the old weirdos, but not yet.
Not yet, no.
This is the housekeeper kitty.
Right. I thought the commander was one of the first fleeters, though.
Yeah, he might be. That's probably why he's like considered the other guy's grandfather, because there's probably been a lot of time.
Yeah.
The housekeeper is great. You have access to a few systems in the game that you can only get to through your home, your house, your room, as we're in right now. One of the important ones, which is, of course, placing your pets.
Yes.
So that you can feed your pets or watch your pets.
Yes.
We'll be placing pets later, but
all dung beetles.
We have to collect pets first. You can also access the training grounds. Well, you can do it from your menu too, but you can go to the training grounds there. We won't be seeing the training grounds in this though, because it is a very great place to go to try out weapons. Mm-hmm. And you have like infinitely respawning barrel bombs and all kinds of, basically like a fun obstacle course that you can test weapons, and it'll give you as a series first, it will actually tell you how to do some combos for your weapon.
What? Why?
I know, it's shocking.
All right, and here's the handler. She will always be eating forever and always.
That is her character trait. It is handler rushes in and handler eats.
And handler rushes in to eat.
Handler rushes in to eat later on. Also, handler gets overly emotional and has some kind of breakdown. That does also happen a number of times.
Yeah, a little bit. Are you going to go eat? Are you going to go eat? You're going to eat?
I'm going to eat. But I don't need that tutorial. Masculine Chef is all about gains and protein and fixing delicious meals with his... Look at all those cat chefs.
Kitty chefs. I love that nodding that he does in the background.
I like that they have the hats on. Yep. But, I mean, I feel like the fur... it's so good. It's just so good. It's a great video game. This is why
this game is great. This game is great. That cutscene should tell you why this game is great.
Now we will. The reason to eat is that for the duration, well, until you die, for your next life, so to speak, you'll have a permanent buff. So it will have extra health, extra damage. You can get extra
stamina,
defense, stamina cap will go up. You'll have more elemental defense. It all depends on the ingredients. And one of the main side quests of this game, or side activities, is going to be doing optional quests in order to pick up new ingredients, to get fresher ingredients for the canteen so they can make better, more powerful buffs. And the buffs you can... Actually, in this game, there is a canteen in the camp here.
Right.
So the handler will actually fix you food if you're out and about, which you can do if you missed out on the chef.
Right, but it's not as cute.
Oh yeah.
It's still pretty good though.
Yep.
There's some good just like glistening food in this game.
They make some good looking food in this game. And people have already, of course, cooked up meals from this game and tried to eat them. Varying degrees of success, because it's a lot of food, as it turns out, like thousands of calories.
Sporting the leather set right at the moment, except for the helmet,
chainmail
which
hat.
is chainmail helmet.
Are you about to catch a bunny?
I got a bunny.
You got a bunny?
The capture net is so good.
Yes.
I mentioned this in the beginner's guide, but I'm using the capture net and grabbing everything and on my way to everything always. Pretty much. The pets are adorable, but they also have there's also like a mechanical reason why you want to get them, because they give you
Research points, right? Which is your alternate currency.
Yes. So you've got money, which or zenny.
Hey, a revolture.
Keep your weapon sheathed.
That's also a really great name.
Yes.
The revoltures are
like
because it said it's a focus on ecology, are scavengers, and the minute you kill anything, the revolters just appear. They'll just fly in and start eating it. Which I was like, oh yeah, it's because they're scavengers. Okay, let's see what you did, video game. I know there's a mining spot over here. I need to get some more. Hold on, I'm gonna field team leader. I know. Like, I'll be back with you in a second. Just hang on.
All right, there we go.
Over here.
Now, you'll notice that Jeff does not pick up any of the berries or blast nuts or anything like that, because that's for ammo, and he doesn't care.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be using too much. Well, I mean, I care in the sense that I really like the light bow gun.
Right.
But for like the sake of man, such a they're so good.
Oh, good lord, that's so much
good.
damage.
The hammer is a charged weapon where you hold R2 or the equivalent, and you'll start charging up 3 different levels, and each level has its own sort of special effect. But the best spammy thing is if you roll off a ledge, you'll jump, and if you start charging during the upward part of your jump, actually for the hammer, it's at any point in the jump. If you start charging, you'll do a double jump and start charging the hammer, and you just slam it down on things. It does mounting damage. It's so good. And you can cheese spam it, because the double jump you can use to go back to the ledge you jumped off of and repeat. Which we might see a little bit of that in the next video.
Maybe might see a little. Yeah.
And it's just a little tease, but these are just the regular Jagras enemies. They're considered small monsters, as you might imagine, because beating them is never going. Well, it can be the focus of an optional quest, but it's never going to be the focus of a main quest.
A main hunt, right?
But there is a sort of adult or alpha of the Jagras. Hey, I did it.
You can spin to win in this game. FYI. You can spin to win.
And the hammer has 2 versions of spin to win. The sliding spin to win is even better than the ground spin is the 3rd level charge. So 1st level charge is just a side swipe, 2nd level charge is a running uppercut, the 3rd one is the spin to win. Which is good for clearing, just as you said, just clearing.
Just groups of enemies.
And also, technically, it's only spin to win if you're moving when you do the charge, because if you do a stationary level 3 charge, it's like a super pound, but these are the... also, the giant flash is because the little flash bugs, which are around here, will have a stunning effect if you hit them.
Right, yes.
And you can hit them with a slinger, so just something from, like your armor.
Or you can hit them with your weapon, or you can just run up to them and press B.
Yeah, B or circle. Right face button or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, you'll just like take out your knife and stab them. Yep. We'll be spending a lot of time in the ancient forest. There's some good routes for crafting ingredients. There's a lot of crafting and making your own items and loadouts, and we're gonna try and at the beginning of the game we're gonna try and get a lot of honey. That's our first goal, so we can have mega potions. After we have that under control. We're going to expand into capture materials, so we're going to be getting thunderbugs and trap tools, which you have to buy,
and parashrooms and sleep herbs.
Yep, and sleep herbs, so we get trank bombs, tranquilizing monsters, and taking them in alive. It's faster and better, and in this game, I'm pretty sure that the actual drop rates are the same. It used to be that, or at least in previous entries of the game, there'd be certain things that would drop more frequently if you kill the monster versus if you captured them. But I think that the drop tables are the same percentage for each. So it's really just a way to end the hunt faster.
Right. But you do get, to offset not getting the carbs, you do get more rewards at the end of the quest if you capture.
Is it more?
Yeah.
I have to look into that. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they say in the game.
I thought it was the, that's the more rewards, but it would also be like if you had carved. I'll look into that.
Right.
I don't know if like the amount of reward slots that it gives you is higher for capture, and the drop rates are the same, or if it's you get 3 reward slots as if you had also done 3 carves. That's something to look into. That's some minutia I'm not actually familiar with. Surprising, but the the other benefit of capturing is of course that if you're in a multiplayer hunt with other people. And let's say something goes bad and someone dies right before the end. You faint. You don't actually die, but your kitty basically rescues you and throws you into the base camp to save you. It's possible that if you kill the monster, that person won't have enough time, because a Monster Hunter thing is you are forced to leave after 60 seconds at the end of a hunt.
If you kill.
Yes, if you do the kill. So it's possible they won't have a chance to get back there and like carve the monster to get materials. They'll still get the quest rewards, but the extra 3. So that can be very frustrating.
Right.
But if you do a capture, everyone gets everything, no matter where they are. And it's only a 20-second countdown, so the fight's over sooner. Everybody gets everything, even if they happen to accidentally die. It's just, that's the benefit for doing the extra steps with the items.
Monster Hunter. If this is stuff that y'all like, feel free to go to our Patreon. It's where you can support us and we can keep doing stuff like this. Like we had to use those Patreon funds to get our computers to where they could run the game. That was fun. That's what we use that money for.
Yes, I'm very thankful for the patrons on Patreon, because it enabled us to have the money in order to upgrade the computers with graphics cards so that I could actually record gameplay at 60 frames a second. While also playing it, but also have nice graphic settings, to have a good product to look at. So very appreciative of that.
Yeah, and if you can't do that, you can do one-time tips on PayPal, or just do the like, comment, subscribe thing. Tell people about us. That's how we get in the mystical algorithm more often, I guess. But
on the next episode,
yes,
we'll be hunting a great Jagras with a hammer. It's going to be embarrassing.
For you or for the Jagras?
For the great Jagras.
Okay.
I am very just a little tease. I am very happy with the one-sided beatdown that happened to this poor majestic beast.
Oh boy!
Which consequently will also be a good demonstration of the power of the hammer and the efficacy of knocking monsters out by beating them in the head. But that's next time.
That's next time on Monster Hunter World.